After all, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. Yesterday, the Prime Minister indicated that he wants to have a carbon tax election on his plan to quadruple the tax to 61 cents a litre on heat, gas, and groceries. So, will he confirm whether or not he considers my motion to keep the heat on and take the tax off a confidence vote?
If it's confidence vote, the NDP will have a hard time to go by it. This is the day 2 of really intense carbon tax pause. Pierre Poilievre has really been hitting home run after home run on this issue. And it's totally true. You can't be a federal leader and rule the country helping Atlantic Canadians and then kicking Albertans. And everyone sees it now, the cat's out of the bag. Here's the whole thing. Check it out.
Is it only Mark Carney who can save the Liberal government? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we know that we made a choice that the Conservatives don't agree with. We chose to invest in Canadians because confident countries invest in their people. While they preach austerity and cuts, we were there to provide $10 daycare across the country. We were there to provide the Canada Child Benefit. We were there to help with public transit and housing. We were there to help our seniors and our students. All of these programs, the Conservative Party has opposed, and they continue to support, also vote against dental care for children and help for Canadians in need. We are going to continue to be there every day for Canadians.
Well, the big surprise is that NDP, like the provincial section of them, they're siding with this carbon tax pause. Now, if this goes to confidence, it could be a big deal. Well, we're going to check this out. Okay, it carries on for another minute or two.
Leader of the opposition.
The Prime Minister paused the paying of the carbon tax for only some people. The Liberal Rural Affairs Minister said, well, other people should have elected Liberal MPs if they wanted to be able to afford heating their home or feeding their kids. The Prime Minister has not denounced that viewpoint. In fact, he's doubling down on punishing people elsewhere. But Liberal MPs in Sudbury, Thunder Bay, North Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, they have starving constituents who are worried about the heat going out as well. Will they have a free vote on my motion to keep the heat on and take the tax off for everyone this Monday?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as a government, we're phasing out the use of coal because it's dirty and bad for the environment. We're now moving on phasing out home heating oil because it's dirtier, more expensive, and is disproportionately relied upon by lower-income Canadians who don't have other choices. Over 500,000 Ontarians, Mr. Speaker, heat their homes with home heating oil. This program and this approach will not just give them a break, but in working with the Government of Ontario, will deliver heat pumps for Canadians right across the country. I invite Saskatchewan to work with us as well. We need to get Canadians off home heating oil. That's what we're going to do.
In some unrelated news, Iran is about to take over the Human Rights Council. Yeah, they're chairing the Human Rights Council. It's just the UN is just very useful. And we got that Ortiz guy who's saying some foreign agency gave him secrets and he can't tell them. But he's a Canadian. Whose secrets is he hiding?
An answer like that, he's clearly not worth the cost, and he didn't answer the question as to whether or not his MPs would have a free vote, which begs the question whether his NDP MPs will get a free vote. The Saskatchewan NDP has just voted to endorse my motion to give equal tax-free heat for all Canadians. That is the position of the NDP in BC, Manitoba, and Alberta as well. Now, the question is whether the NDP will vote against its cash-strapped constituents and in favor of the Prime Minister. So can the PM tell us, is this vote part of the coalition agreement, or does the NDP have the freedom to vote for their constituents?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition wants to talk about places across the country. Let's talk about them. 20,000 Saskatchewanians heat their homes with home heating oil. 50,000 Albertans and about 100,000 British Columbians, Mr. Speaker. That is dirty, it is more polluting, and it is more expensive, particularly for the predominantly lower-income families that rely on this. That's why we're moving forward to replace them with heat pumps, working with the provinces to deliver free heat pumps for lower-income families so that they can save money and fight pollution at the same time. This is about helping Canadians as we fight climate change, which the Leader of the Opposition has no plan for.
L'honorable chef de l'opposition.
The Honourable Leader of the
Prime Minister save his political bacon, Mr. Speaker. And we know that because he's now admitted that his carbon tax is not worth the cost of oil for some people in some regions. My motion simply says that all Canadians get the same break. After all, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. Yesterday, the Prime Minister indicated that he wants to have a carbon tax election on his plan to quadruple the tax to 61 cents a litre on heat, gas, and groceries. So will he confirm whether or not he considers my motion to keep the heat on and take the tax off a confidence vote?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, home heating oil is dirtier, more expensive, and more relied on by lower-income Canadians across the country. 1.3 million households across this country rely on home heating oil. That's why we're working with the provinces that want to replace them for free with heat pumps. That's what this is about. Now, Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition is making a serious mistake if he thinks that Canadians are not concerned about the environment, or that Canadians don't know that protecting the environment does go hand in hand with creating good jobs and prosperity for them across the country. That is a conversation I look forward to continuing to have over the next 2 years with Canadians.